Alright, today we're going to be testing the Socom Extreme 22 caliber with 3 different kinds of pellets. First I'm going to put a Gamo Rocket 22. Fire off around 916.5. Let's try a Predator polymag. See how that does. Predator polymag has got the polymer tip on the end. See how fast that goes. Fire off around. And we get 840.8, which is to be expected. The polymags are a little bit heavier. They're about 16 grain, and the first one I shot, the Rocket, was about 14. A little over 14. I don't remember the decimal point. We got a heavier pellet here. I'm going to shoot a Beeman Kodiak. It's a 21.1 grain pellet. It should be the slowest yet. Let's see what we get. Go the same distance again. And fire off around. And 760.9. Well, it looks like I forgot my PBA ammo, so we'll go get that. I'll be right back. Alright, back again. These are the Platinum PBAs, the sample that came with the gun. And I'll look up the grains and display them on the screen later. I think they're 9 point something, I don't remember exactly. These are much lighter than any of the other 3 that I just shot. So you would expect this to be the fastest yet. Put one of those in and see how fast that goes. Now, I have not shot one of these before, but if it really hits 1300 or anywhere near it, should be a lot louder than the other one because it should break the speed of sound. Let's see what happens. Yep, looks like it did. 1212, 1,212 feet per second. Definitely broke the sound barrier because I got a nice snap out of that. So there you have it. A little over 1,200 feet per second. Not quite the 1,300 that's printed on the barrel here, but hey, not too bad for a 22 caliber. Alright, this next test is one that I've been wanting to do because in the Gamo online videos they show the Socom Extreme blowing right through a 2x4, and in their videos the 2x4 that they use kind of looked like a 100-year-old 2x4 out of an old shed or something that had dried out and might have been pretty easy to penetrate. So I just went to Lowe's and got a standard 2x4, and I'm going to shoot some different pellets at it. I'm going to start with the heaviest pellet first. I'm going to put a Beeman Kodiak into it, a 21 grain pellet, and let's do that now and see what happens. By the way, I forgot to mention I'm shooting from 10 yards, not point blank range, so let's see what happens. Okay, no hole in the back from that, so the Kodiak did not penetrate. I'm now going to try a 16 grain Predator polymag. No penetration there either. Looks like both of them may have gone about halfway through the board. So the next one I'm going to get out is a Gamo Rocket at 14.3 grains. No penetration on the Gamo Rocket either. So the last one's going to be a Platinum PBA. Should hit the board going the fastest speed. But by the time it gets there, it probably will have slowed down from about 1,200 feet per second to a little under 1,000. So we'll see what this one does. We got a loud crack on that last one, which means it broke the sound barrier, which we already knew, but none of these penetrated the board. I guess you could argue that there's a knot here in the board, which makes it tougher in this location. But these down here certainly hit in an area where shouldn't have been too much harder than normal. I'm trying to see down in there. It looks like it. This one here, I'm not sure if you can see. It looks like it went. I can still see the back end of the pellet. It probably went about 2/3 of the way through the 2x4, but we did not get any penetration. I'm going to do one last test. I'm going to do a point blank range shot and see if I can even get it to go through at point blank range. Alright, this is a point blank range 2x4 test, starting with the Beeman Kodiak, 21 grain. No penetration. This time I'm going to go straight to the lightweight PBA, since that's going to have the probably the highest penetration right at the barrel, 1,200 feet per second. Let's see if that will go through the board. Make sure I'm lined up here. I'm going to shoot a little bit more towards this area to avoid that knot this time. Let's see what the PBA does. Shot is right on the other side of this. Right here, as you can see. On the other side, did not penetrate. And that, I can't see the pellet, so I'm thinking it probably went further in. Could probably try to cut this board open and see. But there's your holes. Nothing penetrated. So, powerful weapon, but it's not getting through a standard 2x4 that you'd get off a shelf. A dried out 2x4 out of a 100-year-old farm shed, maybe. But it's not going through this 2x4 that I got at Lowe's. Alright, I'm going to finish up with this little graph that I put together here. It's a graph that shows feet per second and foot-pounds of energy and how those are carried downrange by each of the pellets. I basically took the feet per second that I got out of the Chrony and I plugged it into the calculator at handloads.com. Along with the other information, I did the best that I could with ballistic coefficients, looked them up in pellet databases and so forth, and I think I got them pretty close to what they should be. As you can see by this, if you look at the foot-pounds of energy on the bottom there, the heavier Kodiak obviously carries a lot more energy downrange than any of the other pellets. In fact, by just 20 yards, it's got more energy than all of the other pellets, including the lightweight PBA in the left column there. You can see that the lightweight PBA doesn't do a very good job of carrying energy downrange. It loses energy very quickly. So hopefully this info will help you pick the right pellet. I know from my own perspective I'm going to be using the Kodiaks, even though they only come out at 760 feet per second, which is a lot less than the PBA at the 1200. It carries a lot more energy downrange and it doesn't lose velocity as quickly as the lighter pellets. They also tend to be a lot more accurate. So that's it for this video, and I hope that will help you pick the right rifle and the right pellet. I'm pretty impressed with the Gamo Socom Extreme. I might have only gotten a little over 1200 feet per second when they claimed 1300, but that's not that big of a difference. I think it's pretty much living up to its claims as far as that goes. And also keep in mind that this rifle is pretty new. I've only put a couple dozen rounds through it, so as it breaks in, I would expect the numbers to come up a little bit and be even closer to the claimed 1300.